Hi class, in this video we are going to discuss another topic under solving real-life problems involving rational functions, equations, and inequalities. Before we start, let's recall the strategy for solving word problems. So first thing, always read your problem closely. Identify the known and unknown quantities in your problem. And these unknown quantities, use a variable to represent. Then if it helps, you can draw a diagram. Then after identifying your known and unknown and understanding closely or checking your problem, you will now write an equation that relates these quantities. Then you will solve for the unknown and always check your final answer. In this video, we are going to discuss a work rate problem. So in physics, work is equal to rate times time. Again, in physics, no, work is equal to rate times time. So yan po ay gagamitin natin when we work out with our different word problems. So let's have our first word problem. So we have Maria can paint her room in 5 hours. If she has her friend Sarah help her, they can paint the room in 3 hours. So how long would it take for Sarah to paint the room alone? So let's look at our problem closely. So first, our unknown variable. So from our problem, we're looking for the time, no? How long would it take to, for Sarah to paint the job alone? So let's first represent our unknown. So we will have let x be equal to the amount of time by Sarah to complete a job alone. Then, para po ma-represent natin ng mas maayos, gawa natin ng table yung ating problem. So in our table, nandun yung ating sila Maria and Sarah, and we have yung ating formula for the amount of work, which is amount of work is equal to rate times time. So we have the rate column, time column, and the amount of work. So Maria can finish the job or paint the room in 5 hours. So if we want to get his rate or her rate per hour, that would be equal to 1 over 5. While Sarah naman, the rate of Sarah is unknown. So that would be per hour is equal to 1 over x. Then for the column of our time, meron tayong, sabi sa ating problem, they can paint the room together in 3 hours. So we have 3 for Maria and 3 for Sarah. So for our amount of work, we just simply multiply the rate and time of Maria and Sarah. So we have 1/5 times 3, that is 3 over 5. Then 1 over x is 3 over x. So next, what we're going to do is write our equation. So our equation to complete one job. So when you say complete one job, it means that isang trabaho. That is why our amount of work will be equated to 1. So we have 3 over 5 for Maria and for Sarah 3 over x. So you just add them to complete one job. So with this equation, we can now solve for our x. So solving for x, ayan, first thing we have to do is to multiply both sides by their LCD, which is, for this case, we have 5x. Then after multiplying, ayan, 5x time divided by 5 times 3, we have 3x. Then 5x divided by x times 3, 15. And we have 5x times 1, which is equal to 1. So now that we distributed our LCD, we will now subtract or isolate natin sa isang side ng ating equation yung ating x. So, isusubtract natin yung ating negative o yung ating 3x both sides of our equation. So we will have 15 is equal to 5x minus 3x, or yung familiar kayo, which is yung pagta-transpose. So transpose natin yung ating positive 3x sa kabilang side ng ating equation, then it will be now negative 3x. Then simplify. So 5x minus 3x is equal to 2x. Then divide natin para po solve natin yung ating x. So we will have 15 over 2, which is equal to, in decimal, to 7.5 hours. So, ang rate daw po ni Sarah is 7.5 hours. That's it for our first problem. Next, let's have another problem. We have two painters working together, can paint a house in 3 hours. One painter can paint the same house by himself in 8 hours. So how long would it take the second painter to paint the house working alone? So our unknown, based from our problem, is the time it takes for the second painter to paint the house alone. So let's represent it. So we will have, let x be the amount of time by painter 2, yung ating second painter, to complete a job alone. So again, work is, or amount of work is equal to rate and time. Para po malatag natin ng maayos, let's use a table or a diagram. So we have painter 1 and painter 2. Then meron tayo sa ating row. We have the rate, time, and amount of work. So for our painter 1, he can finish the job in 3 hours, in 8 hours. So ang rate niya per hour will be equal to 1 over 8. While si painter 2, ito nga po yung ating unknown. So we represent it by x, yung kanyang time to work on the house. So ibig sabihin, ang rate niya per hour will be equal to 1 over x. And if they work together, it would take them 3 hours. So, multiply lang po natin sila, yung ating rate times time, yung column for rate and time. Then we will get our column for the amount of work, which is 1/8 times 3, that is 3 over 8. 1 over x times 3 is 3 over x. Now we have the work of painter 1 and painter 2. So now let's write the equation to complete one job. Again, to complete one job, it means that you will add the job of painter 1 and the work rather of painter 1 and painter 2, then equate them into 1. So let's solve now for the x. Same process lang from our previous example. Let's multiply both sides by their LCD, and for this case naman, we have 8x as their LCD. And then distribute the LCD. So 8x divided by 8 times 3, we have 3x. 8x divided by x times 3 is 24, and 8x times 1 is equal to 8x. Next, let's isolate yung ating x in one side of our equation by transferring or transpose natin yung ating 3x for this case, o kaya naman by subtracting 3x both side. So you will have na lang 24 equal to 8x minus 3x. Then simplify, you will have 24 equal to 5x. Then solve for x by dividing both sides by 5. You will have your answer, which is 24 over 5, or in decimal, that is equal to 4.8 hours. So it means that yung x natin is the amount of time by painter 2 to complete a job alone. So it will take the second painter or painter 2 4.8 hours, or 24 over 5 hours. to complete or to paint the house alone.